Hey, this is Aaron. I did an interior review for the Chevrolet Trailboss, and the second camera that's supposed to be filming my face and that I often talk to when I do the introduction and so forth, it didn't record anything. Instead of just scrapping the whole video, I'm going to show you the other camera that does the actual walkthrough parts, and I am just going to attempt to do kind of a bad lip reading of my own commentary as I'm talking. So just bear with me. Trying to make the best out of something bad or, dumb. Mostly it's dumb. I literally just didn't push record. It's clearly the equipment's fault. Yeah, clearly it was the equipment.
Hey, this is Aaron. Today we're going to do our interior walkthrough in a 2022 Chevrolet Silverado. This is the 1500 LT model with the Trailboss package. So one of the two options for Trailboss, the other one being the Classic, which is almost a base model. It's one step up from the work truck, the WT. So yeah, this is a walkthrough of the interior. I did an exterior video. If you want to see the whole truck, you can go to that. I talk a little bit more about the interior feel and a couple of other things, but also on that video I did some comparisons to the Trailboss, or to the Trailboss. This is the Trailboss. I did some comparisons to the ZR2. I will not be doing that here because I didn't do an interior walkthrough of the ZR2. They are much the same. There is a lot of similarities. The biggest difference being that the ZR2 is a slightly higher trim package. Never mind all the off-road gear differences between this and that, which I won't get into because this is the inside, not the outside. If you want to see that stuff, go to that outside review of both trucks. I'll try to link those down below. So, anyway, without further ado, sounds sophisticated. Let's get started. Let's talk about this interior. So over here on the door, you can see this faux wood right here is really, really pretty. And then you can see the door locks. The door handle, this is sort of a nickel, I think. I don't think it's not brushed aluminum, it's more like nickel, so I'm just gonna call it nickel. Down here you have your windows and mirror controls, so you can see back windows, side window, passenger side, driver's side. Driver's side is the only one that's automatic in this package. Down here is the window locks, and then you can see the adjustment for the side mirrors. Then over here, there's my bare foot. In my driveway, so I didn't bother putting shoes on or anything. It's kind of pointless. Anyway, I don't like shoes. Anybody who knows me, I'm not a big fan of wearing shoes. That's why I wear like sandals and flip-flops all the time. Anyway, over here's your parking brake. It's push to set, push to release, and you can, in the vehicle settings, you can have it automatically set when you're parked, and then you can manually turn it off. So when you shift into park. Over here's your four-wheel drive controls. You have auto, 4 high, 4 low, and 2 high. I've been leaving it in 2 high. If the weather gets a little bit hokey, I put it in auto, and then these I think of as off-road modes. I don't think I would use them for much else, but you can. And then down here is a driving mode selector, which mostly you use for trailering, but you do have some other modes if you want to flip through them. There's like an off-road and a normal mode, and that's it. I just looked and that's it. Over here is some lighting control, so you can see you can lower your headlamps a little bit so that kind of dims them. Over here's your squid launcher. Anyway, that's actually the bed light on the top, the work light, loading, I don't know what you call it. The light on the back of the cab. And then these are the dimmers for the interior stuff. And then here's your lighting controls. You can see I have it on auto. That's your notch for it. That's auto. You can turn them off by going like that. You can turn them to manually marker lights, manually all the lights, or just auto. And then here you have your fog lamps, which this is equipped with. So pretty much it. There's like a hood release and stuff hidden down under there. You can just see the thing on that, and that's it. Now, looking at the steering wheel. Let me see if I can do this without putting my finger right on the camera lens. Let's look at the steering wheel. We'll start on the left. Over here is the cruise control stuff for the most part. So you can see you set by pulling it down, resume by pushing it up, and then you can also change speeds. The speed changes if you just touch it, just flick it, then it will do 1 mile an hour. If you hold it for maybe a second, then you'll get 5 mile an hour increments. This is cancel or turn it off, and this is turn it on. And then you can see here's your distance setting for the adaptive cruise, and this is the steering wheel heater in case you need it. Over here there's a climate I forgot to turn off, which just like really started kicking on. Anyway, over here is your mostly driver information screen controls. And then you can see you have a voice control button up here, and you have your telematics. Your phone is down here. This is useful, and you can also set up your phone with it. This is also useful when you want to go through menus. So I'll talk about the infotainment in a minute, but it's a little bit odd in that there are two kind of a split personality. There's like two different personalities going on inside that infotainment. I'll get to that in a minute. So, here's the middle of the steering wheel. I don't know why I'm dwelling on that. Over here is the first of the dongles. This controls the washer, wipers, etc. And then you can see you have your high beam control over here. Turns them on automatic. And then back and forth for the usual high beam stuff. Squirters are right here. Squirts the front windshield. And then you can see signal turns up and down and so on. So you twist this knob to run the windshield wipers. But you use this to run the squirters. On this side, there's nothing. Harkening back to the days when there used to be a shifter here. And I suspect that this steering column is shared in a whole host of Chevrolet trucks. And I do know from experience that their 3/4 ton and higher trucks have a physical shifter up here. So totally makes sense. Instead, you got paddle shifters because the half-ton truck is in NASCAR. Probably. I mean, I don't know. Pretty sure there's NASCAR truck thing. I know that exists. So, like, this is probably in there, right? So, paddle shifters. Okay, this screen, this is huge. So, I want to talk about it. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Everything here is virtual, which means it is all being put on the screen. There's no physical gauges. That's a good thing in that everything is highly visible. No glare whatsoever because virtual. So over here you can see that's the speedometer. So you have the marked numbers, and then you have the numbers between them. So that's 50 right there, 60, 70 right there, and so on. A little bit useful, but most of the time you're probably just going to be using this. This particular model does not have a head-up display, but I do know it's available. It just is not in this one. Down here you got your water heat for the coolant. Over here you got your fuel and your estimated range. This particular model has the Duramax, so it is the diesel option, and it is highly fuel efficient. Very, very well done. I've put a fair number of miles on this truck, about 200, and that's where I'm at for fuel. It also has a large tank. I think it's a 37 gallon if I remember correct. Over here is a tachometer, set up the same way as that speedometer over here. You probably will use that occasionally, but honestly, I had very little use for it. I did some off-roading in this truck, and I did watch it, and I did run it using the paddle shifter so that I could force gears in order to, get slightly higher horsepower out of it or torque out of it, depending on what I was doing, to get the diesel engine to do a little more work. But honestly, you probably will almost never use that except possibly when you're, say, pulling a load and you're going up or down a hill. That's the other scenario I can think of where you would want to be running the gears on your own instead of letting the truck do its thing. But that's it. Anyway, here is another fuel gauge. This over here is actually heat. It's not speed. And this isn't a fuel gauge. This is speed. Whatever. Anyway, digital speedometer there. Here's your cruise control info there. So if I turn it off, it goes away. Maybe not. I guess it doesn't. So there's your what's going on with cruise control there. This is the lane keeping assist. I'll show you a button in a minute, turns that on and off. And then here is its best guess as to what the speed limit should be. And I say best guess because it reads signs wrong fairly often. So it will pass through a school zone and assume that it's a school zone no matter what, even when it's not. And it largely ignores lower signs that are lower to the ground. So like when they put up those temporary construction ones and stuff like that for speed limit changes, sometimes most of the time it seems to be missing those. So that indicator there of what the speed is supposed to be will be wrong. So just as an FYI. Over here, this is the driver information screen. This is what's going on. Oh, I forgot to point out, there's battery down there and oil down there. Anyway, this is the driver information screen. You can go through that using this right here. So right now we're looking at just like general information. There's some tire pressure. You can look at fuel economy. These are sort of my numbers. It was reset when I started driving it. But this is overall, this is not like just a highway test or whatever. This is my overall, and you can see because of the amount of around town I did, it's pretty low, but still very good. And then, by the way, that is a better average than most gasoline models of any kind in a full-size truck that I've driven. And then you got a few other things. There's, your oil life, your brake pads, all that good kind of stuff, right? And then you can page through going sideways. So right now there is nothing happening on the music because I am not streaming Bluetooth off of my phone right now, and that's what it's set to do. Here's sort of your compass and navigation. So if you set nav, you can go here and it will show you the turn-by-turns on that screen and a few other things. That's my phone right there. That's why it says Phony McPhone Face. That's my phone. And then here's where you can do some changes. You want to change how it looks over there, change how it looks over here, do a few things. This is where you do all of that. So pretty dang cool. These are fun when you're off-road. These are basically your pitch and yaw gauges. So pretty neat. And then this shows you where the transmission is. So right now it's in 2-wheel drive. If I push the 4 high, it will switch to 4 high and so on. So pretty cool. Anyway, that is it for this. You can see it blinking over here. So you always have an indicator of what your transfer case is doing over there. So pretty cool, lots of interesting info. It's worth flipping through the whole thing if you're really interested in what you can get. Most of the emergency lights that you will see in this are down over here and over here. And you have 1 or 2 that come up here. Mostly the check engine light, I believe, is up there. Stuff like that. So, moving on. Infotainment. There's the other camera. Hi, other camera. Infotainment. Don't mind the other red truck in the driveway. It's not there. Okay. Infotainment. This is a nice big screen. Very easy to see and read. You can see the big clock over there, and you can see some other stuff here. Right now, we're on the music screen. I will change that. So over here, you see this little home button. Takes you to the home screen here. So here is the stuff you're probably going to use the most. So here's your audio maps, etc. This stuff is the other personality. So there is a Chevrolet personality going on inside this screen. That is what that right here will mostly use, and that is what most of the stuff you're doing, like audio playing and Bluetooth streaming and whatnot, are going to be coming from. But it also has Google. So with Google Assistant, you can ask for things. You can actually try to talk to this. The stuff that it can do is relatively limited, but the most that you're going to use this for is probably going to be navigation, which is highly useful. It's also way more useful if you have a Android phone and you are connected via Android Auto. Then this can do tons of useful things that are all little things, but it's easy to find what you're looking for and do it. It's a pretty cool system, but kind of in I would call it an infant stage. It's brand new. It's going to have some growing pains. It gets a little clunky sometimes, that sort of thing, but it is pretty cool. It's a step in the right direction for sure. Over here, you can see there's a couple other things that you can do. So if you have favorite podcasts, My Chevrolet, trailering setups. I think we've gone over that in trucks before, but you can click that. You can create a trailer or have a preset trailer, and then when you hook it up, the truck just knows and you don't have to do a lot of other stuff. Also, you can go through it has a handy checklist, so that when you hook up, you can check stuff that's going on. If you have cameras on that trailer and they are plugged in with the rest of the trailer, or wirelessly connected somehow, this allows you to use those cameras or set them up. So pretty neat. I really like this. It's a smart setup, and it's cool to have all this to be able to use it. One of the things that I like the most about Chevrolet, GMC, etc., as far as how they're set up in their trucks for towing and other things. So pretty neat there. The clock over here, of course you can switch to different things, right? But I've mostly been leaving on the clock because I just have the audio as what's showing on the whole screen, if that's what I'm doing. Down below that, over here, that was the home button I talked about before. Now we're getting some sun. See what happens? Everything is fine, and then halfway through my video, when it's least convenient, the sun comes out and starts shining in and making everything glare. But anyway, I'll just try to do kind of sideways to make it work. This is a volume control. You can push this button to mute, and then you can use this to change the volume. Now, if you are streaming, which includes Sirius XM, so satellite radio or Bluetooth, when you push this to mute, it will actually pause. So you can not skip your stream. You can just pause it and then come back to it where you left off. Now, I mentioned earlier that there is lane keeping assist. This is how you turn it on and off there. Here's your parking. Here's your engine stop start. This drops the deck lid, or the tailgate. It's not a car. Cars have deck lids. Trucks have tailgates. When you push this, that drops the tailgate. Here's your Duke's lights. This is traction control. This is hill descent control. And then this is highly useful when it's very, very hot. This rolls all four windows down. So you can start driving, hit this, all four windows go down, you get all the heat sucked out of the truck, and then you have to use the manual ones to put them all back up. But this is extremely useful because it's just one touch, all the windows go down. That's really cool. And honestly, when it's really, really hot, that's the bomb. Okay. Down here's your stop start button for the engine. Here's trailer brake controls. So you have your gain and whatever, and then right. And then over here you have you can see it has seat heating. There's back and bottom, and then this is just the back. And then you can change the temperature here. Another knob for that over here. You can sync them, etc., etc. This is all pretty straightforward, I think. A couple of USBs right there. This is what turns it on and off. So when I turn it back on, it'll go back to whatever settings it was on before. When I hit that to turn it off, it turns itself back off. This is a convenient little phone holder and stuff. You can throw your phone down here. You can throw miscellaneous stuff. And then you can see the coffee holder. I'm sure people drink other things as well. I usually put coffee in that. Maybe some liquid death. Over here you got this is a really good place for your phone, honestly. This is where I usually set mine. Set it in sideways and it leans like that. here's a good spot for anything that you want to go flying out when you hit a corner too hard. But it is rubberized, so, you know. Shifter. So you can see it's pretty straightforward shifter. I'll hold the brake so I can do some shifting. So reverse like that. You see I push the button there. Drive like that. Low like that. And then if you want neutral, just tap it. Park is like that. So pretty straightforward, easy shifter to use. I really like this, and I like the placement because you can see my arm can just pivot right here, and I can run that. It's pretty cool. I like that setup. Now, over here is where your phone is supposed to go. This is a wireless charging station, so you drop your phone in there, it will charge. I just don't use it because I can't see anything when it's in there, and if my phone is tucked away where I'm not looking at it, I'm also not going to know that I'm not going to remember that it's in there when I get out of the truck. So I will leave, I've done it many times, leaving my phone in there just because I can't. I'm not looking at it when I'm getting out. Up here's another good spot for a phone. Passenger phone usually. My son's been dropping his here a lot. So good spot for that, and non-slip like everything else. So really good. Now, this big old console, there's a button right here, and you open it. Big, nice console with a giant thing in the way so you can't see how deep it is. You can see there's another USB in there, I think. No, that's a light. USBs are up here. You can see the USBs right there. You can see where that charger is. You can see how it dips in. And then that right there, let me set this tray down. That right there is a 120 outlet. So that's pretty cool. And then this tray, of course, comes out, goes right back in really easily. You can swap it around however you want, you know, so if you want it pointing forward or whatever. This is a cool spot for files or magazines. I've been putting them in like this, mail, all that kind of stuff. Just set it like this and it just stays kind of leaning right here and does its thing. That's pretty cool. Back here, some more drink holders. You can see there's two in each of the, maybe, you can see there's two in each of the front doors like that. And then if I can keep the glare off, I'll show you just some of the interior design. It's pretty typical Chevy. So here's your proper glove box here. There's the bigger one down there. And then you can see kind of the, I can't really control the glare like that, but you can see kind of what's going on here. Now the back seats, huge back seats. I really like them. My kids like them. It's highly useful. In the middle there, highly useful back seats. You can see in the middle there, that pulls down, and it has drink holders and whatever. And then you can see the little pockets. When you open those, you have a little bit of storage in the back of each of those seats, which helps make up for not being able to like flop the seats down. The backs don't come off the wall. Now the bottoms do come up, but this particular one has like a tray thing under there that has, you know, like the jack and a bunch of other things in it. So it really doesn't give you much of a load floor. It gives you that extra maybe 4 or 5 inches, but that's about it. So, you know, there are better options if you use the back seat for cargo a lot. But honestly, most of the trucks are getting away from that just because it's really not used as much as people might assume. Some have a fold-out flat floor back there, which is a cool idea. But anyway, this has none of that. This has an electric rear window, so that pony window in the back is electric, and then really good cargo. I like the cargo bed on this. This has the it's not multi-pro, that's GMC. Chevy's is called I don't know, like ProGate or something. I don't know, it has some dumb name. Anyway, it's that like 12 point, I think it is, opening where you can like open it to make a shelf, you can open it to make a stairs, you can open it. It seems really gimmicky until you use it, and then you realize that it's really useful. It's a great thing to have. Other than that, this is a very comfortable truck. I am surprised how comfortable this truck is. It's a good price point. I'll show you the Monroney here in a minute, and it's a very good price point. So I am surprised at how comfortable and nice it is and how many electronics there are given that fairly low price point. So as long as we're doing it, I brought it up, so let's just talk about it right now. We're looking at a base price of $52,000. You add $4,000 to get the Trailboss package. So the $52,000 base price is for the Silverado 1500 LT. So that's the straight up model, which is most of what you're looking at in here. So when you add the Trailboss package, what you're adding are more skid plates. You're adding the four-wheel drive system with the dual speed transfer case. You're also adding the upgraded shocks. So these are the Z71 package for shocks and other stuff. Gives you a little bit of suspension lift. And then you're adding those 17-inch wheels with the all-terrain tires. I believe these are Goodyears, so they're, I don't remember what kind of tires they are. I pointed it out when I did the walk around video. So anyway, nice general use off-road tires. Actually, I like these. They're good option. So you're getting a whole lot of other stuff. There's a bunch of add-ons that are not necessarily off-road that come with the Trailboss package on the LT versus all of the off-road gear that is the only edition that is on the lower end, the custom Trailboss. So that includes things like rear pedestrian alert, trailer blind spot alerts, all kinds of stuff like that. Then to get this diesel engine, which I highly recommend, you spend about $2,600. I think that's totally worth it, because this is the engine to get. I don't think Chevy has a better engine than this all the way around for their trucks. So any of the engine options in their trucks, this diesel is always the best one in my opinion. Then a bunch of other little small things that got added. The adaptive cruise is an upgrade. The multi-flex, that's what they call it, multi-flex. The multi-flex tailgate is an upgrade. So you're looking at options on this are about a little over $9,000, and then you have some. Then you have your delivery charge. Total for this, because there's a premium package discount. Huh. Anyway, $500. So total for this, you're looking at $62,500. In today's market, that is a baller price for a truck, especially one that's outfitted like this and looks this good. This is such a good looking truck. I'll show you a couple photos just because I can. This is such a good looking truck. One of the better looking trucks on the road, again, in my opinion. So yeah, beautifully done. So that's it. That's the interior walkthrough for the 2022 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 LT Trailboss.
Okay, so thanks for bearing with me. This has been Aaron. Talk to you again soon.
Subscribe.